us once again make clear that which most do not seem to understand. This podcast is marked as explicit, not because it offers a mature look into the world of topics not meant for the young or immature, but because it mucks about in very appalling, gormless, and tasteless filth whilst reveling in it. Cinema Psyops aims to drag you down into the very same muck, filled with sexual deviancy and decayed morality. Cinema Psyops. They heap weekly praise on such filth while discussing the most base and animalistic urges, reviewing the lowest common denominator of low-grade trash ever considered film. When you look at the state of the world around you and you realize how little time you have left to be happy, do you really want to waste that time you have left listening to Cinema Psyops?
Absorbed in it. It is a driving force. You have to have it. I hate it so much that I've seen this done to the camera and personal level. And I want to see it banned. I want to see it off the face of the earth.
Yeah, it's amazing, but I think parents have to really pay more attention to what these kids are listening to.
Cancer in children? What's that about? How dare you? How dare you create a world in which there is such a... It's not right. It's utterly evil. Why should I respect the capricious, lean-minded, stupid God who created a world in which is so full of injustice and pain? Because the God who created this universe, if he was created by God, is quite clearly a maniac. Utter maniac. Totally selfish. Make them blind. Why did you do that to us? Who had got to do that? A maniac. We could easily have made a creation which doesn't exist. It is simply not acceptable. Cinema Psyops.
I want to see it banned. I want to see it off the face of the earth.
Welcome to the 369th consecutive week of Cinema Psyops. Nice. I'm your host, Court, the guy that's just immature enough to make that fucking joke and somehow make it work. The guy who could try and make that joke and would fuck it up royally is my co-host, Matt.
Yo! Yeah, I would have fucked that up. It's all right, though.
Nice.
I'm fine. Nice.
So 369. We have done this for 369 dudes consecutive weeks.
I'm tired.
Well, yeah, you just got off of a weekend bender vacation.
God, yeah, was it? And how?
Yeah, we both have to head back to work in the morning whenever we're done recording. And for once, we are actually recording at night, which we are now too old to do because I am also tired and worn out. And I'm going to do my best to bring my A game, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, if it's the B game, that happens sometimes. I mean, what do you want from us?
I think our shows should be proportionally as well made as the movies that we cover, which means that a lot of our shows would be absolutely terrible and we'd be fine.
And we should really be fine now then.
The problem is the pressure whenever we start doing really, really good movies, and then we have to try and emulate that in some way, shape, or form, but we're going to fail miserably there. And so we'll just end up in a shame spiral of me always constantly wondering why the hell I keep doing this so badly.
Yeah, right? Jesus Christ. Well, fuck it. You know what? When we start getting into like the really top tier movies, we'll be fine. We'll make sure to pump ourselves up. It won't have a fucking a blasting weekend. And now you're just tired.
Well, at least we're doing Killer Crocodile too, so we can move through it relatively quickly because just like Killer Crocodile, there's not a lot going on here. Although I will state flatly right now, Killer Crocodile 2 is a much better movie than Killer Crocodile.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more, and I will defend those points as to why. And while you will not agree with them, you will understand why I feel that way.
Well, I'm interested.
Yeah. No, you won't. You'll be like, oh yeah, that's why you dig it, Court. You won't even question it whenever I tell you why I like it more. And when we get to there, we'll get there. Obviously,
we'll get there.
Right.
Yeah.
This week I was able to get once again 4 more songs. Now, one of the songs I could not confirm the word crocodile in until much later than what our audience will hear, but crocodiles or crocodile shoes is this week's theme. It's something to do with crocodiles. Right. So, and I found 4 more, and they are all different than what I played last week. 4 more songs for this week's show for the Pirate Radio Edit that feature crocodiles in some way, shape, or form.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah. And last week's episode, I barely even did very much with the editing. I just kind of put it out as is because there wasn't really much to do.
It's going to be kind of like that this week, I think.
Well, with that particular edit, like I even left in the part where we discussed how we're going to be recording tonight. Like I was just like, fuck it. We need material on this. It's already thin as hell.
Oh, so thin.
Yeah. Well, this week, as I mentioned, I did enjoy it a little bit more, and I really don't want to tear you around. We're just going to basically sprint through this episode.
Yeah, we're gonna get through it because I need some sleep. Because I don't get a lot of that anymore. And I'm getting older, which means I should get more sleep, but that's just not how it's going for me.
I am so sorry, my dude, that life is wearing you down, and the best that I can offer to appease that is once a week we talk about movies like Killer Crocodile 1 and 2, which Killer Crocodile, I can't even show the respect of saying the full name. I just kept calling it Crocodile. And like
I'm just calling it Killer Croc at this point.
Yeah. But last week I was like Crocodile, and I was looking up the movie as Crocodile. Like I didn't even really want to remember that the title was Killer Crocodile. I was being such a surly little bitch, and I haven't been that bad in a while. So I need to apologize to the audience for my poor attitude last week. It is much improved this week because Killer Crocodile 2 is a definitive step up for Court than Killer Crocodile 1 was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still shitty. It has still got long, drawn-out passages of boring, but when it kicks it up a notch in this movie, it really kicks it up a notch.
Yeah, it gets going.
Yeah, so I can't wait to talk about those moments, but what I suggest we fast forward over are the bullshit drama moments, and I'll try not to complain and pad out the episode by bitching about that. I'm just going to try and let that stuff be.
Because you bitch a lot. No.
Yeah, absolutely. So without further ado, we're going to have the little Kevin intro that I cut down to remove the Steam code giveaways. But guess what? There was a Steam code giveaway just given like last week.
Oh, nice.
For the Legion Patreon ad. So that's still happening. Just because it's not in here, that is still happening. Apparently. I just took it out because it said every week in June, and it's no longer June. So
it is not June.
Yeah, maybe if Kevin's going to keep doing these, and I'll double check with him, I'll just add in the Steam code giveaway part and take out the part where it's every week in June. You know what I'm saying? And then as long as he wants to give them away, I'll leave that all in. So maybe we'll see. Like last week I fixed it to remove everything, and maybe I'll fix it this week to put some of that back in now, because that's the kind of weirdo I am.
Yeah, you'll fix it good.
Well, while we're talking about that, we really should just get moving on. And after that, we're going to have the Legion Patreon ad. And up first, Janice Ian and Crocodile song for this week's Pirate Radio Edit.
Hey everyone, this is Kevin. As many of you probably have heard, Bo will be heading back to school to become a teacher. Congratulations, Bo. As such, I'll be taking over the reins, managing and spreading the good word of Legion Podcasts. You can reach me on Twitter or the Legion Discord group. My username is @LonelyBob. Thank you so much for supporting Legion Podcast. See you around.
So keep it quiet. Oh, hi there. I didn't see you. You caught me cutting a new show. I'm Bo Ransdell, and I'm one of the many creators you can find on Legion Podcasts. I said quiet! My fellow podcasters and I work hard to bring you the best in horror podcasting, but that comes at a cost.
Wouldst thou like to live deliciously?
Not that, but also yes. No, what I'm getting at is that there are server costs, costs for good microphones and software for editing, all the things that make our shows, fun to listen to. And you can help. If you're enjoying the shows on legionpodcasts.com or in the Legion Network available on iTunes and Stitcher, just about anywhere you can download a podcast, really, you can help us out and get a little something for your trouble at patreon.com/Legion Podcasts. For just $2 a month, you get a pair of movie commentaries exclusive to Patreon, and for $5, you can also join us for a monthly screening of a movie. All of that available on patreon.com/Legion Podcasts. We appreciate it, and thank you for listening. Now, back to the cutting room.
Crocodile, am I right?
Jesus.
I feel so gross just making that joke.
You really should. What's wrong with you? Just so terrible.
She made him take out all of his teeth before he could have his honeymoon night, my man.
Well, I mean, sometimes that has to happen. Maybe she has an adverse reaction to teeth. I don't know.
Then falling in love with a crocodile may not be your bag, baby.
That crocodile was simping for somebody then.
Oh man, now I feel even more gross.
You should be.
That's a great place for us to stop this genocide song and actually get into Killer Crocodile 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, the Electric Boogaloo. First 20 minutes start. We recap the end of the first movie with, them killing the fucking croc.
I mean, the most entertaining part of the last movie, starting this movie with that. Why not? Yeah. I'm down.
Of course. Then we get this couple. They're going to go do some windsurfing. Everyone seems to be having a great time. And, the guy's doing the windsurfing. He's kind of dragging his girlfriend along on another board. She falls off the board, and as she's trying to swim and there's getting back, all of a sudden we find out, well, then they're all in trouble because there's the killer croc, and it takes her and kills her, and we get the opening credits.
That was actually a pretty nice, brutal scene and the most blatant Jaws ripoff sequence we've had in either film.
Yes, but I mean, this whole thing is just a Jaws ripoff sequence.
That's fair. I mean, even the music is lifted straight out of Jaws. It does sound like they were kind of composing their own thing over top of the Jaws score, which is almost even more offensive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're all having a good time, though.
I mean, yeah, I'm already enjoying this way more than the opening of Killer Croc 1 because of one main thing, right? They show the croc, it still looks fake, but they cut away quick enough to where there's a few scenes where they have it moving where it's almost believable because of how quickly they cut away.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a better job of cutting around this ultra fake shit.
They learned their lesson in Killer Croc 1 when they shot him back to back.
Yeah. So there you go. They're like, okay, well, we know this is all looks like horse shit, so let's just go ahead and quick quick cut around it.
Well, apparently this swamp is also in the middle of this beautiful tropical isle that we didn't know about previously. Like somehow it's all of a sudden in the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's in the Caribbean, but then they still talk about the United States. I don't think they really know where they're supposed to be at.
It's a swamp somewhere in the territories of the Americas, but it's an island, but it's also got a tropical swamp.
Yeah, something. It seems to be weird that this is kind of what we're doing here. But okay.
Yeah,
so
its
anyway.
geography is definitely what one would call confusing.
Yeah. You're like, what's going on, guys? How's everyone doing?
Much like a tourist from the Americas in the Caribbean, you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, much like any American tourist anywhere, I have no idea what's going on. So, we get to some guys, they're taking some radioactive barrels from the swamp. Then we see another guy, he has called his...
radiation suits.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about that for a second? Why didn't they at least put them in garbage bags to mimic radiation suits? Something?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Just, their radiation suits were t-shirts and shorts.
Right. I mean, like, they look like they were ready to go fucking pontoon boating for the weekend. They did not look like they were removing toxic radioactive waste from a swamp.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird choice.
Right. And they're using like these like boats where they're like the little cigarette speedboat type thing to haul the stuff away. So it's way out in the open and it's going super fast as it's moving, making sure to disperse the particles evenly across the river as you go.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but what are we doing here, folks?
On a believability scale, this is pretty much pegging the zero.
Yeah. It's pretty much really just assaulting zero at this point. So anyway,
it's breaking through the scale and the plastic on the side of it.
Yeah, right. We cut to this other guy. He's doing a news investigation. He calls his editor and says he's got a huge story and that he's taking all the precautions. Later, he goes to check out some barrels, the radioactive barrels, and some guys find him and shoot him dead. We cut to some lady journalists. They're all talking about how they all want more important stories than, the health and living section and all that. Use some pretty bad words in that too. So trigger warning on that for anybody.
Yeah, this conversation was really fucking just fucked.
Well, it's hard. It was
cringe.
Hardcore homophobic.
Yeah, hardcore homophobic and super fucking cringe. Yeah.
So anyway, one of the ladies, she gets called the editor's room and she's going to get one of the big stories. Her name is Lisa. So, I mean, obviously she's pretty happy about that. Then the editor is talking to this kind of, I think, the owner, and he's not sure about sending a woman to do this. So now we have a sexist thing. We just went through some homophobic shit. Now we're doing some sexist shit, but the editor believes in her. Well, then we just got to some dudes flying over the swamp in a helicopter, and that is our first clip.
This whole area is a potential gold mine. I'd be a gibbering idiot if I didn't try to exploit it.
Sure, but those damn disappearing barrels are a real problem. We've looked under every rock for miles and miles, but nothing. Zilch.
Well, if you boys couldn't find them, no one else will either, that's for sure. Even if they're a potential danger, it's a risk I have to take. At any rate, go on looking for them. But I can't put off the start of construction for the tourist village one more day. I've pushed through the financing deal with the bank, and every day's delay will cost me a fortune in interest alone. I'm giving a press conference today to announce the beginning of construction.
And that is the end of the first 20 minutes.
Okay, Matt, are you familiar with, or do you remember the plot line of Jaws 2 by any chance?
Somewhat. And yeah, isn't this the whole thing?
Yeah, it's like they're trying to open a resort hotel in the same area that the shark was at. And the mayor from the previous one is deeply involved with it. Does this look relatively familiar to you in some way, shape, or form?
Yes, it does. It's fucking ridiculous.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty cheeseball as shit that they're ripping it off this fucking hard, but at the same time, I'm like, cool. All right, I know where I stand with this movie, and I'm actually relaxing and having a little bit of fun because this is obviously a direct Italian ripoff. This doesn't have the tone of the parody that the last one kind of felt like it did. This straight up is like, no, this is a blatant ripoff with a crocodile. Deal with it. It's like brazenly in your face. I can respect that more, like the brazen fucking bullshit bullshit that they're pulling in this one just works for me more so far.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the first 20 minutes, we haven't quite gotten to the part that really made me fall in love with this film. I think that happens right about the 25th, 26th-ish minute mark when that happens. So when we get there, I will need to talk about how that definitely is the thing that made me fall in love with this one and like it more than
All right,
the
just
first
let me know
one.
when we get there.
Yeah, I will definitely let you know, but I'm going to reserve some of the time that is allotted to me here at the end of the first 20 minutes because fuck all has happened, really.
Yeah.
For that portion of the show.
All right.
That's a deal?
That's a deal.
Let's move on then.
Deal. The next 20 minutes, we start with the croc attacks a bunch of kids who are in a boat and a nun killing a boat.
This is it. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
There's 2 boatloads. 2 nuns, 1 nun in one boat, 1 nun in another boat with a bunch of kids. Knowingly, they're indoctrinating them. And then the croc tips over one boat, eats all the kids, and eats the nun, and leaves the others to get away. Go ahead, Court.
Okay, so we hit 20 minutes, and I'm like, fuck this movie, right? Because I have that attitude. We hit 26-ish minutes where this scene happens. And the reason that it's 26 minutes is there's a good 3 to 4 minutes of the nuns leading these kids in songs and telling them if they sing well enough, then they can have their daily prayer. Like, it's pretty awful indoctrination, like Matt is saying, right? And so in the middle of all of this indoctrination and this boatload of kids, I'm like, oh, come on, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. No, they're not gonna do it. And then they fucking do it. They feed a whole boatload of kids to the crocodile, and it's bloody, but it's quick, and you don't really see kids like getting thrown around. You just see blood in the water with kids kicking around and screaming, and you're just happy that that's happening. And then all of a sudden, all of that screaming stops. And I don't think the crocodile necessarily hits the boat. I think they all got up and started panicking, running back and forth, and looking to either side really quickly, trying to see the crocodile after the nun panics. And they tip the boat themselves. I don't think he knocked them over. He just went, oh, good, lunch, and dove in for them. This movie feeds a fucking nun and a boatload of kids to the crocodile in the first 26 minutes. I don't give a fuck at this point what happens in the rest of this movie. It's automatically better right there because that was amazing. I mean, it was
everything's all better.
Yeah, I mean, it was really badly done, and the crocodile still looked pretty goofball. But they're using the shots that I was saying they needed to use of the mouth more, where the mouth is coming at people and attacking. And like I said, how that would be much more effective. It fucking is, because this scene is actually kind of scary. I mean, yes, the crocodile still looks cornball as shit, but the scenes where the mouth comes at people and snaps on them is actually really scary in this.
Yeah, right? The croc, also, I thought the face looked scarier. I mean, it's the same thing, but for some reason they made it look more menacing.
Well, I think the special effects guy that built the crocodile is the one that directed this one.
Okay, so maybe he just knew how to shoot it better then.
Yeah, he found a way of making it look better, obviously, than in the first one for sure. They use the pinchers, which are, the mouth pincher things, which are like the best part of it, whenever the mouth is supposed to be snapping closed. And it's very clearly just a lever because it just goes up and down. There's no lateral movement of the jaw. There's not a lot of mechanical functionality in this. It's just an opening and closing alligator.
Yeah.
Or crocodile mouth. And it feels like maybe they got some of the better shots in this one because he maybe was doing the shots of the crocodile and the other film decided what they were going to use, but he shot all the crocodile attacks, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it took until now, or maybe they saved all the best shots for this one. Why? I don't know. You would do that other than you're the guy that built it and you directed it, so you got all the best shots before the other guy got the chance. I don't know. But this already, the 26 minutes, I know for sure that I was like, this is better than anything that happened in that whole previous movie. So it's automatically better just from this.
Yeah, seems that way, right?
Yeah. I told you may not agree with me, but you would totally see my point as to why.
Yeah, I do see your point of view on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I'm not saying this is a good movie. I'm just saying that this one is everything that the first one should have been. Like all the promise of the first one, like what they could have done with the first one is what this one is doing. So I'm going to eat crow on this one for talking any shit about it previously to watching it.
All right, well, after all that, the mayor has a press conference, and that is our next clip.
It is with a great deal of pleasure I announce that once again, our children will be able to enjoy one of our country's greatest natural assets. Our Isabella River, once polluted by criminals with no love for their country or its people.
Will the swamp be reopened afterwards?
Yes.
What about the river?
The swamp and the river have been cleaned up. In fact, Right at this moment, the last barrel containing toxic waste has reached the port.
Mr. Baxter, does this include the radioactive barrels?
I have asked you here also to announce...
Mr. Baxter, I asked you a question.
I don't think we've met before, Miss.
Miss Lisa Post, from the New York Chronicle.
Yes, all the barrels and all the harmful things they contain have been removed. Any further questions?
Mr. Baxter, are you still interested in the development of the area?
As a matter of fact, that's the announcement I wanted to make before I was interrupted. Construction has begun for the greatest, or I can say largest resort of the Americas. It will have the effect of increasing tourism, which, as we all know, is a largely untapped source of income in this country.
So when do we celebrate this, Mr. Baxter?
Right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Bravo, that's what I like to hear.
One would not think that access to a swamp would be the tourist attraction boon that it's being made out to be by the reporters here.
Yeah, right? But,
especially when you have
apparently-
all of that coastland that's right on the ocean, which is so much more a tourist attraction.
But hey, I mean, come on, man. It's such great areas. The swamp. Everyone wants to go play in that, right?
Yeah, everybody wants malaria.
Yeah. Everyone wants to deal with all the fucking mosquitoes and shit.
Both of which were 90s sitcoms.
Yeah, right? Jesus Christ.
Everyone wants malaria and everyone wants to deal with mosquitoes and shit. We're both...
It's shit. Yeah.
We're both
great
90s sitcoms.
Yeah, I think it appeared right after My Two Dads. That was the lead-in. Strong lead-in. Strong lead-in. Lisa's not pleased by a lot of this shit. Then we see the three dudes who were grabbing the barrels at the beginning of the movie. They're they're having dinner. This almost seems like a nothing scene. This one dude just hates mosquitoes and he keeps eating up, and his buddies put a little small lizard in his food dish just to fuck with him.
Oh, this is filler of the highest quality. The only thing more brazen this movie will do is use footage from the previous movie as a traumatic flashback.
As filler. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the filler is on this one, but do you remember like a couple minutes back at like the 26-minute mark whenever the fucking crocodile ate a bunch of fucking kids?
Yeah.
It's still better. It's still better.
Ate a kid out of none.
I'm still fucking high from that right now, watching the movie for the first time. I'm still like fucking just like giggling like a school kid. Like seriously, it made me giggle. I was like, I can't believe they let them eat the kids. That's awesome.
I know, man. It's what you always want out of like a Friday the 13th horror movie, but he never gets to killing the kids.
Well, slashers are one thing, but like a fucking killer animal that doesn't know the difference between grown or kid, just it's all a meal, should be eating the kids.
Yes, definitely.
Clips, all of this clips.
All of the clips. Everything's a clip here. Lisa, then she goes out herself and checks on some of the barrels that were found. And then later on that night, the dude who was really complaining about the mosquitoes, he's just out shooting shit because he's annoyed with the shotgun. And the big croc shows up, so he runs away from it. He gets inside his hut, and the huge croc busts through as he's trying to reward his friends, killing all of them, and sliding the entire fucking hut they were in into the water.
Okay, it doesn't matter how fake the crocodile looked. The fact that they had it rammed through the hut like that was pretty badass. The fact that it was so giant compared to the actors that were clearly terrified of this mechanical thing coming at them because of how big it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it actually amped up the feeling of danger, and they did a really good job of putting the croc right up on those people and still shooting it at somewhat of an angle to where you were focused in on the mouth and the teeth and not the rest of the crocodile. Like we talked about earlier, the crocodile attack shots in this one are really well done.
Yeah, they're far and away better.
Yeah, even though the thing still looks fake as shit in a lot of the shots, don't get me wrong, they use it in such a way to where you just don't give a shit like when you're watching a 50s monster movie.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. Well, the next day, Lisa calls her editor, and that is our next clip.
Paul? Hi, it's Lisa. Paul, can you hear me all right?
Sure, Lisa. What's up?
You're not going to believe this. Those radioactive barrels are still in the swamp, and that bastard wants to build a resort.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. Don't you remember? Before I left, we did the research together, and there were 15 radioactive barrels still there. Now I just checked, and they're not among the salvaged ones. The Geiger counter gave me no reading at all.
So that son of a bitch is sending people to live in a contaminated area and has that goo still hidden out there somewhere?
You finally got it. The man is dangerous.
Okay, Lisa. I'll send someone to help you out.
What? Look, Paul, this is my story. I don't need anyone else here. I can handle it by myself.
Oh, cut the crap. This is work. I don't want to lose you or the school.
And just who is this genius, anyway?
The only one who knows the swamp well. Kevin.
Who?
Kevin Jones. You know him.
Shit.
As Lisa leaves, someone we see is following her. Anyway, later on, Lisa hires a boat guy to take her out to the swamp later that day. So the guy who's been following her reports to the big boss. The boss tells him, listen, just scare her. Pay the guy off, the captain, just to scare her so she's on a plane back. He goes, I don't want it too messy so you don't kill her, but just to scare her. On the boat, then later on, the dude stops it and he looks like he's gonna rape her. And she's like, I'm from New York, get fucked, and pulls out a knife at him. He falls into the...
Can we just talk about how badass that is? She whips it out. Yeah. She whips out the switchblade at the last second and basically almost makes him stab himself in the dick.
Yeah. And so he then he gets tipped in the water, and she's like, now, if you promise to be good and not a pervert, I'll let you back on the boat. Then the big croc shows up, kills the guy, and then knocks her into the water. And we cut away after that, and that is the end of that 20 minutes.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit more about the way that she handles his, rape threat at her, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, he's coming at her slowly, and he's, really trying to intimidate her, and he's even, ready pretty much to do it. Like, he's just basically going to sexually assault her. Because he was paid off to scare her, and his way of scaring her is to just rape her out in the middle of the swamp.
Because he doesn't know, he doesn't seem to be that great of a guy.
The actor does a really good job of being menacing and greasy and feeling like he's going to do something awful. We got to give him credit for that. But the way that she plays it is the way that I wish more films would actually portray a female during an attack like this. She actually belittles him. She doesn't fucking give him any bit of power at all and basically tells him that whole spiel about being from New York and he's going to have to try even harder to menace her, And she has the weapon. She's clearly holding onto a weapon in her purse the whole time. And that's what she's doing. And she waits. Of course. She waits till he gets close enough and then basically has the switchblade open right as he goes to dive for her. And the reason he falls into the water is he realizes he's getting himself stabbed in the dick and he jumps off to the side to try to avoid that and goes head over ass into the fucking drink.
Yeah. Yep. And then Killer Croc shows up and fucks him up.
Yeah. Yeah. And she actually, to her credit, still tries to help him get him out of the water before the croc can eat him, but then the croc jumps up on the boat on top of her and almost crushes her, but can't quite get to her, gets frustrated and then goes off.
Yeah.
Like that.
But she still gets knocked into the water.
Right. She gets knocked into the water too after that, but he doesn't know that she's there or care.
Yeah. And he also kind of ate because he did bite the head off the dude.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. The would-be rapist gets his head bitten off. They have a bunch of kids and a nun get eaten. How can you not like this more than the other one?
I mean, obviously, this is just so much better. Kids and nuns dying, rapists getting heads bitten off. It's great.
Chicks from New York pulling switchblades on dudes, making them stab themselves in the dick.
I mean, it's all great. It's just all great.
Yeah, there is filler in this one, of course. There are long sequences of this one that you just scream at the screen, get on with it. For even just an hour and 27 minutes, you still feel moments of this running time. But when it gets good, it gets really fucking good. Like this sequence, while it's not a great film, was thought out really well and acted pretty decently and believable and kind of fun and literally one of the only things that I can talk about positively.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. That's how all that goes.
But honestly, the parts that get good are good enough to where I don't care about those filler moments. Yeah, I would definitely watch both of these again and just fast forward to the croc attacks. Pure and simple.
Yeah, I would too. That just makes sense.
Yeah, especially this one. This one I will probably watch more, and then maybe I'll go check out the croc attacks in the first one after this one.
Yeah.
At least the part where the little girl... Oh, no, I can watch the part with the little girl here because they play that in flashback. Let's get to that.
Oh, yeah, all right. Well, the next 20 minutes starts. Kevin from the first movie, he checks into a hotel, but no one has heard from Lisa, but they do know she went out on a boat. So he goes out into the swamp and finds some boards that are all fucked up, and he gets a flashback of the little girl attack from that first movie.
One of the best parts of the first movie that's ridiculous and stupid, and they cut out the stupid parts and leave in the parts of the attack that are actually scary. Well done, editor.
Yeah, right. Jesus. Stop doing your job well. well, all right? We're not here for that.
I'm here for that all day. That's all I want in a film is for editors to do their job well.
So he's out in the swamp. He has all that. And then we see Lisa. She's stomping around the swamp. Then Kevin meets up with Joe. And they go back to Joe's place. And that's our final clip.
Why did you come back, kid?
I was supposed to meet a girl at the hotel. Only instead of waiting for me, she went out into the swamp.
Strange place for a romantic appointment.
Joe, she's disappeared.
Ah, so that's it. When did this happen?
Yesterday. I found what was left of her boat.
Where?
In that lagoon to the south. And I wish I'd never seen it.
What the hell are you trying to tell me?
There's another one, Joe. Another son of a bitch.
It's impossible.
I saw what it did to that boat. There were teeth marks. Big ones.
It might have been a crocodile, but nowhere near as big. There just aren't any more like that one. It was the only one. That's gospel, kid. You better listen to it.
I know it exists. Can't you feel it?
What do you want?
Help me. Help me find the girl, if she's still alive. And if there really is a crocodile, help me hunt it down.
Weren't you the guy that, once upon a time, protected animals and nature?
That crocodile destroyed my life. It killed all my friends. Every night since then, I wake up in the middle of the night screaming.
So, you've come to drive out your fears.
Something like that.
And the girl?
We'll find her.
Joe's back, everybody.
Yeah, Joe's back, and they go out looking for her. Lisa actually makes herself a shelter, and then it collapses on her. Just a funny little bit there. The two guys, they're camping a little bit. They talk more about Lisa and how, powerful and strong she is. And then also about the croc. The next day, Lisa sees them out and about in the boat, but she can't get their attention. Later on, they get yeeted out of the boat. And Joe gets killed by the crocodile as Kevin was able to get back onto the boat. Joe gets killed, telling him he's got a promise to kill that croc. And that's the end of that 20 minutes before we go into the final 20.
So they bring Joe back, and is he dead already?
Yeah, he's dead now.
I know, but I'm asking the movie. Like, you bring Joe back for what? He's dead already.
Yeah.
What did his death even mean?
I don't know. It was almost like, well, we didn't kill him in the first one like we thought we should, so now we'll kill him in this one.
It just does not make sense. It really doesn't, other than just to have some play at trying to do pathos for why our man Kevin here is going to go on and do his thing. It is Kevin, right?
Guess.
His name is Kevin, right?
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah.
So our man Kevin is now supposed to be the new Joe.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they were setting it up at the end of the first movie, but they still felt like they needed to kill Joe.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood coming off of Joe's head when he was floating under the boat, but not a lot of blood around him anywhere else. And they made it seem like the croc bit his legs off, but he didn't want the kid to see that as he was bleeding out, like, or something, because, like, he was supposedly dying. But there were no wounds that were bad enough to make it to why he would be dying. There was just that bloodbath at the start. And this whole thing is extremely confusing. And I'm still thinking to myself, why the fuck did they kill Joe? What point did that serve?
Because you got to kill off Joe to make you really hate that croc.
Yeah, there's a reason Kevin has to go for him. This was the last friend that he had.
Yeah.
And they're not going to kill...
a lot of his friends survived.
Yeah, and they're not going to kill the hot reporter girl because they need that for TNA later.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. I just didn't understand why they killed Joe, and my disappointment for that was almost enough to start tipping it back into the scale of not enjoying the movie, but then I just start giggling again when I realized this movie killed like 7 kids.
I mean, it's weird that it makes you so happy.
I am who I am. At least I only enjoy it in movies.
Deal with it. I am who I am. Deal with it.
I'm comfortable with enjoying kid death in movies. Clip.
Damn. That's a big time clip.
We can move on.
All right. So Kevin later on finds Lisa. she tells him about the croc, and as she's telling him about it, he's like, I know. We see two men are hiding, listening to the conversation. Then her and Kevin have a fight. She, strips down, wants to be used, and jumps in the water and wants to be used as bait so he can use his rifle to kill the croc. And he's like, listen, that's not going to kill the croc. You guys got to stop, because that's definitely not going to kill the croc, this rifle. So she's like, oh, all right. And she gets back in. Everyone's all mad.
Except for us, because we can now see through her shirt because it's soaked.
Yeah.
That was really the reason they had her jump in the water, is so that she would have a wet t-shirt for a good portion of the film.
Yeah. So, hey, we're all right.
I mean, I'm okay with it. The actress, I would hope, knew what she was getting herself into when she joined the cast of this film, so...
Yeah. So, everyone's all right.
It adds to the enjoyment that we didn't get in the other movie, so once again, it's another check in the column for Killer Crocodile 2.
Yeah. But he gets her out of there and says, hey, listen, that gun ain't gonna do shit. So anyway...
She's like, look, lady, we didn't even get penetration with the elephant gun with illegally packed bullets.
Yeah, right. So then the guys check on those other three dudes and see that they see the destroyed shack. Well, two guys then meet up with Boss Man, and they kind of give him the update, everything that's happening. So the Boss Man says, all right, listen, you got to kill Lisa and Kevin. He's already killed those two. Then we cut back to Lisa and Kevin at Joe's place, and she strips down, and they bone. So thank you, movie.
Yeah, this was a consensual stripping on her part, and she stands there for a while, and they have a conversation while she's topless, and a lot of it stays filmed on her, therefore adding once again another plus in the column for this movie versus the first Killer Croc.
Thank you, movie.
Thank you, Killer Crocodile 2. You were the movie we were hoping for with Killer Crocodile.
Yeah, right? Jesus. So, then we see guys getting a boat ready to go hunt the other two. That morning, Kevin and Lisa, they hang out, and she meets Joe's snake. More filler.
Phrasing. Are we not doing phrasing?
Phrasing. Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
I'm surprised that Joe's snake upset her so much. She was all over Kevin's last night.
Right? She's all over that python. So then,
let's be honest, it's not a python. It's probably a garter snake.
It's a worm.
Ooh, we're body shaming. We need to stop.
All right. Then they make some explosives to try to use against the croc. They talk about how the chemicals are still in there in that lake and that they want to reopen it to the public. So Kevin promises he'll try to help her find the canisters as well.
Did you notice how much she looks like Kathy Ireland in this now? Like all of a sudden?
Yeah. Yeah. Kathy Ireland was a big deal back then.
Right.
So...
They got to knock off Kathy Ireland, and they did really well in their selection.
Well, good for them. Listen, sometimes you just have to be able to see that stuff and use it. Fuck.
All I'm saying is it's just another check in the positive column for Killer Crocodile 2.
Yeah, everything's coming up Crocodile 2 right now.
Yeah, everything's coming up Killer Croc 2, yeah.
Here. Okay, so then the guys, they're searching the swamp for those two, and they find the roof of the guy's hut. As they check through it, the croc pops up and starts killing everyone. The others are shooting it, and Kevin and Lisa hear it, so they get on the boat. The guys get slaughtered. Kevin and Lisa find some bodies. As they're going, the croc attacks some other swimmers and boaters. The other two are able to save them, so no further deaths. After a lot of fighting... I was
really bummed out they didn't kill at least one more kid. I really was hoping they were going to kill that kid.
You're really hoping that kid was just going to go, huh?
Yeah, Jesus. I wanted that family to die before the croc got some retribution. I was a little disappointed in that. But I also got a nun and 7 kids or so getting killed, so I'm willing to let that go.
You're just greedy. That's all you are.
I was just kind of hoping, I wasn't demanding.
So anywho, after a great scene in which Kevin is literally wrestling with a giant croc, they throw...
This was so stupid, but great.
It was. They throw the explosives in his mouth. The croc explodes. Tons of blood everywhere. As they are sitting there celebrating, all of a sudden all the missing barrels of radioactive shit pop up that were probably lodged free from the explosion. Happy coincidence. Everyone celebrates. Roll credits.
That is by far the fastest review we have ever done, I am sure.
4 clips, and I got the only 4 clip-worthy things in that whole movie.
The sequence where the crocodile is chasing after the skiff boarding and tubing family being dragged by the small speedboat thing, that sequence is actually pretty well done, and there's a lot of fucking action in that we definitely skipped over, and we could probably expand on and talk about. But I mean, that's literally what happens is the croc is just chasing them. But it actually does build the suspense and the tension pretty well. That final sequence is actually pretty well done. I mean, comparatively,
it's not bad. I mean, the wrestling with the gator's a little ridiculous.
Right.
But
No, the chase sequence that I'm talking about, up until he starts wrestling with the gator. That stuff is actually really well done. And then he starts riding the gator like Joe, and we're like, oh my God, he's going to sacrifice himself to save the family, you know?
Yeah.
And then the gator's standing straight up in the air, which makes absolutely no sense how perfectly straight up and down he is, coming up out of the water. And he's kicking the guy off of him or trying to buck the guy off of him. And the guy's just holding on by the corners of he's fish hooking the crocodile. That's how he's holding on, basically.
Yeah, he is. He's fish hooking him. Yeah.
And he's barking orders, and then the thing tries to drown him, and then it jumps back up again, or it's trying to flip it off so it can bite him or whatever. And it's just ridiculous. It is by far the dumbest thing that you've ever seen. And it overshadows just how great that chase sequence was, and how some of the shots, whenever they filmed the crocodile, it actually looked like it was coming at them, and the way that it was moving was actually pretty believable. You know, they actually did a really great job with that sequence, and it's completely overshadowed by how stupid this thing is at the end.
Yeah, right.
It really is. But it is so ridiculous that you are just going to have to laugh. At this point,
you have to take it for what it is, or else it's going to be just bad.
Right. It already knows it's a cornball fucking movie, and it goes whole hog into it at the end here. It just goes for it. And the fact that she throws him the dynamite and he can get it lit, and without holding on to the crocodile just holds still so it doesn't try to buck him then when he lets go. You know what I mean? Or when he's trying to light the dynamite or anything like that. The way that it's just so perfectly executes with it opening its mouth just so he can throw that in there, and then he can jump away, and he somehow jumps 150 feet away from this thing because it falls down and he's really far away. I don't know how he does it, but it's ridiculous. The whole ending of this is just so dumb.
It's so nutty. It's so fucking nutty.
Yeah, and then don't they have a little thing after the crocodile's dead where he's talking to her or some bullshit like that too? There's a little sequence just after that, I thought, where it's they're wrapping up their story. No, am I just
they kind of did when the barrels popped up. So the barrels, it must have got dislodged. Yay! And then they kissed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So her story is complete. Now she has proof that she was looking for. She's going to get her big reward journalism thing or whatever is going to happen. And he got to sleep with a woman who was clearly way out of his league. So he's happy.
Yeah. Right. He got somebody, a partner way out of his own league, so now he can just live his own life.
Essentially, he's going to try and see if he can ride this out, I think. He's going to follow her to New York, and she's going to be extremely disappointed in him, and he's going to end up broke and homeless, straining rubbing alcohol through fucking burnt toast to try and get drunk and feel better about himself. This relationship is going to end badly for him, and he's going to end up in really dark places.
Well, he deserves it.
That's just, I don't know why my mind went there. I think I'm quoting MST3K too for some reason.
You might be.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. That's how fucking delirious I am. And I'm not trying to pad out the episode because we haven't even hit an hour yet. And we're going to get so much PSYOP news to try and fill her, my dude.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I could try and play songs a lot longer, but then, what's the point of that? We're really just padding out Killer Crocodile 2 like Killer Crocodile 2 was padded out.
Well, listen, we said we're going to start reviewing them as how they're made, so...
Yeah, this is a pretty perfect example. We really just moved right through a story that wasn't even there. I mean, if it weren't for the attacks, which you didn't even really describe in great detail, even though I sidetracked you for them, there would be nothing worthwhile in this film. That is absolutely true. But the attacks in this are so good bad. They're so bad.
Well,
it's still badly done, but it's the height of what you could get on the budget that they had. This is the best that they probably could have done. I don't think they could have made this croc look any better than what they did in this film. And while it still doesn't quite work, it's significantly more entertaining.
The action sequences are definitely more entertaining. The people killed are way more entertaining.
Especially when the fucking nun and the little kids get eaten. That was amazing.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm going to recommend everybody check out. If you want to check out and see just how bad they can get /good, just go to Killer Croc 2 and skip Killer Croc 1 because the best parts of Killer Croc 1 are in Killer Croc 2.
Yeah.
It's flashbacks.
It's just flashback. It's the best part of everything.
All right, we're going to take the break here. We're going to play Jimmy Nail with Crocodile Shoes, and when we come back, we're going to have some PSYOP news and try and fill this out to about of an hour. Jesus. Goodness, that song fit the bill. He said Crocodile Shoes quite a few times there. And I'm not trying to pad out the episode by letting that song go longer. Not at all. That was not happening.
Not at all. I didn't think so.
No, instead I would rather we pad out the episode with you doing more work with some PSYOP news.
From our man Robert in the field.
Yeah, our main man Robert in the field.
He must have an incredibly long penis.
I would hope so.
I believe so. 6,000 bees found inside the wall of Omaha couple's home. You could hear the buzzing. So, just in case you wanted another reason not to be able to sleep at night.
I think that's going in the spank bank.
About 6,000 bees were recently removed from the inside of the walls of an Omaha couple's 100-year-old home.
My asshole actually sweat.
Thomas and Mary Lou Gautier told the Omaha World Herald they had been planting bee-friendly flowers outside their midtown home, but they never expected the bees to move in. The bees lately infiltrated through a hole in the mortar of its brick exterior. The Gutierrez discovered them after noticing many bees flying outside their kitchen window and found about 30 in a second-floor bedroom. If you put your ears to the wall, you could hear the buzzing, said Thomas Gautier, who is a retired dean at the University of Nebraska in Omaha, who used to lead the Center for Afghanistan Studies there. Gautier said that their first thought was to call an exterminator, but we've been reading that there are a lot of great and there are a lot of great shows on PBS Nature about how important bees are to pollinating the world in which we live. The couple, that is a fear boner.
It's
the couple contacted
serious cock.
Probably could. The couple contacted two members of the Omaha Bee Club who charged $600 to safely relocate the bees. Larry Cottle of Countryside Acres Avery cut a hole in the wall of the home before Ryan Gilligan of Gilly's Gold vacuumed the bees into a box to move them. 3 honeycombs, about 2 inches thick and roughly 9 inches in diameter, were inside the wall. Gilligan posted a video of the bee removal on YouTube. They said that we didn't see the queen during the removal, but the next day it was found, Gilligan wrote in the video caption. Goodyear said he and his wife tasted some of the honey before Gilligan took the bees home to his acreage.
They're house honey.
Ha ha! House honey. Gilligan said he's removed the bees from a number of homes, apartments, barns, and trees in the past 7 years.
You know what? Good on people for paying to have the bees safely removed and protecting them, because we're losing bees.
Yeah, we need them, or else the planet's we're gonna be fucked.
I mean, we already are, but why accelerate it? Good job for making the bees be safely removed.
Exactly. Gilligan said Gilligan said the last home he did before the Gautiers had 15,000 bees. Bee species around the world are facing devastating declines, according to research released last year. Up to 25% of known bee species haven't been reported in global records since the 1990s, despite an increase in the number of available records overall. So, yeah, we need keeping the bees alive is important, people.
They are the number one pollinator of our world, and without them, the plants die, and without the plants, the things that we eat die.
Yeah. Don't fuck with the bees. Let's try to help them.
I've realized the way that I just phrased it is pretty much anything that eats plants is food for me, and that's not necessarily true. I do also eat plants. I just also eat things that eat plants.
Everything eats plants, including me.
Well, I'm an omnivore.
Yeah, you eat everything.
Well, not everything. I eat a lot of stuff, though.
Oh, yeah. You eat it all, Court. Shut the fuck up.
I will shut the fuck up if you give me another news story, because we still have to pad out this episode to an hour.
I will.
We still haven't done it yet.
This one from Pete.
That's our man Pete from Good Beer, Bad Movie Night.
Pilot threatened to turn plane around if passengers didn't stop exchanging nudes.
Is this real? You should vet this.
It's ABC on your side. It's an ABC
My dick and
website.
balls are worth a lot more than $60. You can't pay a bail? Well, I could probably fix that for a blowy.
All right, so the Southwest Airlines pilot threatened to turn a plane around and return to the gate if passengers didn't stop sending unsolicited nude photos to each other.
Always looking for wang.
Unsolicited nude photos being sent. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, chronicled on TikTok by user Tagler Morales. The pilot tells passengers he will turn the plane to the airline gate and contact security if they did not stop airdropping the photos.
Shut up. Are you talking about penises?
Oh, so somebody was being a creep and airdropping naked pictures to people. That is gross.
Yes, that is disgusting. The pilot is quoted as saying, "So here's the deal. If this continues while we're on the ground, I'm going to have to pull back to the gate. Everybody's going to have to get off and we're going to have to get security involved. And your vacation is going to be ruined," said the pilot. "Whatever that airdrop thing is, quit sending new pictures. Let's get yourself to Cabo," the pilot continued. According to the insider, the incident took place before the plane took off and started when the passenger received a nude image. The passenger complained to a flight attendant, which then led to a pilot addressing the plane as a whole. Marcellus told the insider that she thought the pilot handled the incident perfectly and that she also received a request for the airdrop but denied it. When made aware of the potential problem, our employees addressed the issue to support the comfort of those traveling with us, Southwest Airlines sent in a statement to the insider. So, yeah, somebody was trying to use airdrop. They just walked onto a plane. It was like, fuck it, I'm going to send people my nudes unsolicited. What a piece of shit.
Clips.
Oh, that's clips.
Yeah, that's a fucked up thing to do. I don't care which gender you are or who you are. You don't fucking do that. Unsolicited is the thing. You do not send someone an unsolicited nude of yourself.
Yeah, right? Someone asks you for a nude and you send it, then no problems. But, dude.
Yeah. Also, if you are going to send a nude photo of yourself, you basically want to make sure that you're sending it to someone that you can trust, because that shit will get out there and the internet is forever.
Yeah, the internet is forever. It will stand the test of time longer than you.
I also saw a suggestion where someone said that if you get an unsolicited dick pic, that you should turn it into an NFT and make the person buy it off you.
Right? That would be the best. That's a great idea. Why don't more people do that?
Because NFTs are bullshit.
It is. They are. NFTs are all bullshit.
Well, the blockchain is supposed to be forever, though. Let's do one more, because we just barely creeped over an hour. This is a really pathetically short show.
Well, yeah. Well, listen, man. I'm working on pathetically little sleep. This one's also from Pete.
Once again, from Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, our man Pete.
Woman unknowingly drives 30 miles to work with nearly naked man asleep in her car.
Okay, you vetted this one too, I hope, because
yes,
you know how that sounds
NBC.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Easton, Massachusetts.
I put my penis inside of you, bareback. Jesus, that was the wrong one.
Police arrested Rhode Island man early Monday morning after a woman reportedly found him asleep and nearly naked on the floor of the backseat of her car. The woman noticed the man in her backseat after driving from Providence to Easton, Massachusetts for work, according to an Easton police chief, Keith Boone.
I'm going to stockpile all my guns because cops don't help you.
The distance between Providence and Easton is roughly 30 miles, a trip that takes a little over half an hour. The woman said she believes the man, later identified by police as 21-year-old Jose Osorio, must have sneaked into her vehicle after she had started it in her driveway Sunday night. The woman explained that she had left the car unlocked and the engine running while she briefly went back inside her home. The woman had been listening to a podcast, didn't notice, maybe it was ours, it didn't notice that Osorio was in the back until she pulled into the parking lot around midnight, according to the police.
If you're listening to our podcast so intently that you don't notice a naked man sleeping in the back of your car, I am sorry.
Yeah. The victim told officers she did not, but it means we did a really good show. She told that she did not know the man and had never seen him before. He was sleeping when officers arrived. He was still sleeping when the officers arrived.
This guy is going to probably be just some dude who got drunk, got naked, passed out in a car and has ruined the rest of his life.
Yeah, right? Police say that his shorts were wrapped around one of his legs and his shirt was wrapped around one of his arms. The remainder of Orsero's body was uncovered. Orsero later told police through an interpreter that he was under the influence of alcohol and marijuana when he got into the victim's car and fell asleep.
I called it. I didn't even look at the article. I called it.
The woman told officers Orsero didn't threaten her, nor did he injure her. Orsero was arrested and charged with breaking and entering into a vehicle during nighttime. Orsero also had a warrant out for his arrest in Cranston, Rhode Island for breaking and entering. Folks, pay attention to what's in your back seat, especially if you're going inside and you left your car unlocked for any amount of time.
Yeah, you should always check the back seat before you drive. Sometimes the trunk.
Yeah, always check, because there could be a naked dude back there.
So this is basically what I think happened. He broke into the car because he needed a place to sleep. The dude sleeps naked and he's too fucked up to realize that sleeping naked in a car that you broke into is really dumb.
Yeah, or he's just trying to find some sort of shelter. That's the only thing I can think of.
Maybe. But maybe he didn't break into the car, or maybe he did. Who knows? But for some reason, he was in there. Whether she forgot to unlock it or he broke in. The point is, she did not notice he was in there. And he did not wake up because he must have been on one hell of a bender.
Yeah, he must have just been way fucked up. Because I've gotten fucked up on some weed and some alcohol before, but never have I thought about, you know what I'm going to do?
I'm just waiting for you to say something but clips.
Nah, I'm not going to do that for you. You know what I'm not going to do? What that guy did. MacGyver ain't got shit on me. Give me a fucking paper clip, some chewed up bubble gum, and a string. I'll get whatever dildo you need out of you. I will. I'll help.
Always
I'm
looking
a helper.
for Wang.
They always say look for the helpers, and I'm one of them.
What's that old Dave Attell joke? When that happens to you, you need two things: ice tongs and a friend who can keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, a friend who can keep a secret. Fuck.
We're like an hour and 6 minutes. When we cut out all the dead silence, this is still going to be like 45 minutes. This is going to be the absolute shortest episode we have ever done.
I wouldn't cut out the silence.
Maybe I can add in filler from our first review and how much I was complaining about it to try and pad out this episode like Killer Croc did.
There you go.
You know what? Fuck it. It's as long as it is, and it'll just work out as however it did. So we'll just fucking finish it up. Whatever.
We get some better shit than Croc 2.
I can visibly see, without even having to actually look at you on camera, I can see right now the look of shame and disappointment that's on your face where you're like, I can't believe I had to stay awake to do this show.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
With that, we're going to play the Ending Legion promo, and we're going to come back with Echo and the Bunnymen with the song Crocodiles.
If you enjoyed this show, then make sure you check out the other great shows on the Legion Podcast Network, like Cinema Psyops, Cinema Beef, Devour the Podcast, Duncan and Bo Come Correct, Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, Friday the 13th, Get Slayed, The Hellming Power Hour, Hello, This is the Doom Show, Hero Hero Go Show, Kill the Cast, Underwater Kaiju from Outer Space, Jerry Hates Action, Legion After Dark, Mental Health, Obsessive Cinema, Discourse, Pick 6 Movies, the podcast by The Cemetery, the podcast on Haunted Hill, the Psychosemantic Podcast, Rick Radio, House of Wax, Dude Looks Like the 80s, Rabbit and Red Radio, the Shadecast, Short Bus Cinema, 2 Drink Minimum Commentaries, the VD Clinic, Who Will Survive Horror Podcast, and Witch vs. the Doomsday Clock. With such a wide spread of shows, there is guaranteed to be a niche for you to fall in love with. Horror, politics, movies, books, sex, music, commentaries, health, video games, kaiju, action, news, comedy, and opinions that would most likely get you killed in some parts of the world. We are proud to bring you some of the best podcasting in the world. Check us out at www.legionpodcast.com, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and any other dark corner of the internet where podcasts can be found.
so there it is. The name of the song is Crocodiles, and something about, I know you got the blues in your alligator shoes, but he's all smiles in his crocodiles. So it was in there. It included the word at least once. We found it.
Yes, finally. Gotta have them crocodile songs, or else this show makes no fucking sense.
I mean, it makes no fucking sense anyway, because we covered Killer Crocodile 1 and 2 back to back.
I know, I feel bad about it.
If we did this as a full franchise fest, this would be the worst full franchise fest we ever did.
It would have been the worst full franchise fest we ever had, no doubt.
Because it's the worst 2 episodes we've had in a while.
Oh, God, yeah, this has to be... We were going to have a come down after the brilliance that we did for Ringu and fucking The Grudge.
Yeah, and I tried to manufacture that with the sci-fi action films to start this year off, where I was like, hey, let's just come out the gate with some trash. But no, I didn't realize how deep we were going to actually be dipping down this year.
Man, makes those first 2 fucking sci-fi movies we watched appear like Oscar winners.
I know. Well, if you'd like to find other instances where we talk about how the previous 4 or 5 shows, other than the ones we've just done, are better, all those previous instances of the 368 previous weeks, legionpodcast.com/cinema-psyops-podcast.
Yeah.
Man, I hope they don't add another hyphen and another word in there. I keep getting barely being able to say that in one breath.
Was there a niner in there? What are you doing?
Is that a Tommy Boy quote? Is that what that is?
Yes. Is there a niner in there?
Okay.
Shut up, Richard.
Yeah, I thought that was a Tommy Boy quote. Wow. Well, other instances where Matt has just randomly quoted Tommy Boy at me, also available at legionpodcast.com/cinema-psyops-podcast. We also are available on the Legion Discord chat. I'm definitely showing up there way more often than I do on the Book of Faces. I just more or less scan my feed, then get bored and stop looking at it when it comes to the Book of Faces. But the Legion Discord chat, I'm actually participating and talking back and adding some information in there. And, we're all having a good time on there. Matt's been on a little bit, but he hasn't been in a while because he's been super busy.
Yeah, sucks ass.
I'm also available on Instagram as cinema_psyops. That is our main meme repository where I just post thrice daily on the working day. And since it was Labor Day, I decided to take the day off.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Those memes are then immediately shared to our Facebook page, Cinema Psyops, and then to our Facebook group, Cinema Psyops, both aptly named for a podcast named Cinema Psyops.
Now you're just getting weird.
Well, if you'd like to find other places that I can get weird, my Facebook feed is Court Psyops.
Oh, don't. They want that. You know that's what they want.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of friend requests lately from, I guess, new podcasters that are starting up or just maybe other fellow podcasters that have been doing it a while that have just found me. But I was actually kind of surprised because it had been tumbleweeds for so long on that site.
That's hilarious.
But hey, it looks like it's just been podcasters mainly, so I'm okay with that, trying to build the community.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, if you are a podcaster who would like to build the community, I guess you could send me an email if you want to be archaic about it, cinemapsyopscourt@gmail.com. I just had no segue into this, so that's where my email is.
That's you did as best you could.
You can have it dictated but not read and sent to me if you wanted.
Yeah. Dictate.
Well, while you're out there dictating but not reading, kick the fuck out of this week and make it your bitch.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me on your side?
Yep.
All right, start recording on your side.
I am. 1, 2, 3. Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Millhouse. I forgot to download the clip, so I'm grabbing that real quick.
All right.
Doesn't he say that after Lisa gets her heart broken by some dude and he thinks he can get back with her now or something?
I don't know. I don't know if it was that or if it was something that any one of us, if it happened to us, it was something that we wouldn't even care about. It wouldn't be good news. And what I thought it was. I just remember now everything's coming up Millhouse, and then it doesn't because it's Millhouse.
Yeah. All right. So I got the clips now. Alrighty. We are ready to rock. So let's get this show on the road. Here we go.
Let's do it.
We are doing Killer Crocodile too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, anyway, god damn it, fucking asshole made me lose my place. So, I think it appeared right after My Two Dads. That was the lead-in. Strong lead-in.
Nothing wants to follow My Two Dads. That was 90s genius.
Paul Reiser at his best.
The artist that made the bed that folded, that it was made on the one side, and then you opened it up and it was always messy.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
That's a fucking show. What a fucking outtake.
Hi,
Despite all my sidetracks, we're fucking cruising through this.
We really are.
Lisa, what's up?
This is being more disrespected than fucking Bruno Mattei films for length of talking.
Right?
Our main man, Robert in the field. Oh, I don't have the clips up. Give me 2 seconds.
All right.
He must have an incredibly long penis.
Dictate.
Well, while you're out there dictating but not reading, kick the fuck out of this week and make it your bitch. That was a weird one that you went dictate. I was like, I got nothing else, so I guess I'll just jump on this.
Got nowhere else. All right. Well, I have nothing else left, so I'm done.
You stopped recording?
Yep.